Okay, so let me start again. So welcome to today's webinar, How to Research US Properties. So the agenda for today. So first we're going to introduce the sponsors. Then we want to tell you why do you need to research a property before you contact a real estate agent. Then what's the purpose of your buying the property? What do you want to do with it? What are your responsibilities after you buy a property? What are your funding sources? Then we'll actually start the research, and we're going to be using Zillow and other websites, price, location, neighborhood, school district, and then we'll drive through the area using Google Street View, and then how to contact your listing agent. And then from the attendees, if you have a particular place you want me to research, you give me the state, the county or the city, the price range, and what you want to use it for. And then if we have time, just want to show you when you take a loan, what exactly is going on. So, introduction of the sponsors. Today's webinar is sponsored by Tuluwani Investments, LLC. It's a company in the United States of America. Tuluwani Investments is into a lot of things. We invest in real estate. We also, since I'm a pharmacist, we have a product here, which you can see. Let's put that where you can see it. This is on Walmart.com. You can get the herbal diet formula. It's all natural. And you can, if you go to Walmart.com, you can get it there. And if you buy enough, you can get free delivery. And then Tuluwani is into a lot of things. We have a YouTube channel, Tuluwani Investments, Business and Inspiration. So you can follow us on YouTube. We have a channel where we talk about a lot of things. But today we're going to focus, and because I have so much to get into these 2 hours, I hope you have your pens and paper or something to take notes so that we can begin very quickly. So unfortunately, those texting me now, I've already started the webinar, so I can't respond. So let's start with item number 1. So we've finished the introduction of the sponsors. Now, why do we need to do property research before contacting a real estate agent? Now, this is a very good question. Why shouldn't I just contact a real estate agent and let them do the work? Now, remember, the real estate agent, that is their job, and they earn commissions on what you buy. So it is not, they are not, even though they're trying to help you find a property, they're also trying to, make commissions on whatever property they buy. So they cannot spend too much time, looking for the best thing for you. And you know what you want. You are the one who is buying the property. Now, when you buy real estate, that's a lot of money. And you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on something that is not what you really want. Now, the real estate agent will always tell you, oh, this is the last property available. There will always be another property. Even if you miss a particular property, there will always be another property. You're going to be spending a lot of money. So don't let anybody tell you that, oh, this is the only property. You can even buy your own land and build what you want. So it's always good to do the research, and I'll show you how to do it. Now, when you're doing research on your own, it will take a long time, but it will be worth it. It will be worth it. We're going to try to cram as much as possible into this time. but it's going to be worth your time when you actually do the research yourself. So that is why you need to do the. So the next question you have to ask yourself before you start is, what is the purpose? Why do I want to buy real estate? Do I want to live in it? Do I want to just buy it and hold? Do I want to rent it out? Do I want to flip it? Flipping means you just buy it and quickly turn it over at a profit. Or do I want to fix and flip? Fix and flip is when you buy a property that is, needs some repairs, and then you get a contractor to repair it, and then you sell it at a profit. So that's the first question you have to ask yourself. What do I want to do with it? The next item is, what are your responsibilities? Now, responsibilities after you buy a property. You're going to be paying taxes. That's something a lot of people don't know. After they buy the property, they forget that they're going to be paying taxes on that property. It's not your property forever. If you don't pay your taxes, the county where you bought the property is going to sell your property to someone else, which will be a huge loss. So make sure that they have your correct address so that your tax bills, because you cannot say, oh, I didn't get the letter or the bill. No, it's your responsibility to make sure you pay your taxes. So taxes, then the yard and property maintenance, that's another big thing. A lot of people who buy property, probably out of state or out of the country, they forget that that property they bought, they have to keep the yard. They maintain the yard and maintain the property. You can I've bought a property before where they sent me a letter because I didn't cut the grass. They said after a certain date, I'm going to be fined $1,000 every day for every day that I don't cut that grass. And also, it could include jail term. So you can imagine. So when you buy a property, you don't just buy a property and walk away. You're responsible for the taxes, the yard and property maintenance. And then depending on where you buy, if you buy it in a community that has an HOA, that is Homeowners Association, you're going to be responsible for those fees too. So there are a lot of responsibilities included in buying property. Now, funding. Where's your funding going to be coming from? The funding is either from your savings, you save money, or family and friends, people come together, all of you come together and put money together to buy a property, or you take a mortgage. Now, it's easy to get a mortgage if you have a credit score, but mortgage also has its own downside because you find out that, and that's why I said if we have time, we can go into the loan amortization so that you can see what happens. If you take a 30-year mortgage, for the first 10 years, you'll be surprised that most of what you're paying is interest, and the principal amount that you borrowed is not reducing. So that is something you have to look at. But as I said, you could save, you could combine with your family and friends, or you can take a mortgage. Of course, there are other ways to fund it, but on this level, let's stay there. So now we're going to start the actual research, because that's what I want us to spend time on. We're going to be using Zillow and then the other websites. So let's come back here. So let's start. Now, at the end of the, you'll see it on the agenda, I said that if possible, I will take one or two suggestions from the attendees, and ask you if you have a particular place in mind that you want us to do the research on. You give me the state, give me the county or city you want us to research, give me the price range you have in mind, and also tell me what you want to do with it. Do you want to live in it? Do you want to sell it? Do you want to rent it out? And then we will work on it from there. So I have a comment here. What are they saying? Oh, you're not hearing any sound. Okay. At the bottom of your, can you see me? Because at the bottom, there's something like a microphone. You have to click on it. Click on the microphone. If you are using a phone, make sure the phone is expanded to full view so that you can click on the microphone. So let me know if you can hear me. Click on, there's a microphone on your own end. You have somewhere where you can click on the microphone so that you can hear me. Let me know once you can hear me. So let me play music so that you know if you can hear me. I'm here. Okay, so let me continue. I hope you've clicked on the. So let's start the research because we have a lot over today. So, stop the music. So we are going to be going to Zillow. So Zillow is a free website you can use. You don't have to sign in. If you want to sign in, maybe you want them to be sending you reminders. So if you go to Zillow, now we will start with a state like Georgia because nobody has told me any particular place. So let's go to Georgia. So the sign for Georgia is GA. So you click on Georgia and search. So Georgia has 49,255 properties for sale. Now, let's imagine you want to spend only maybe $50 to $1,000. Sorry, 50 to 100,000. So you go here. Now, the reason I put a minimum, because if you leave it at zero, a lot of properties that don't have a price will come up. So I start with 5,000. That's the minimum. And then for the maximum, let's put 100,000. However, let's say you only want to spend 50,000, you put 50,000. Okay, so let's start with 50,000. $50,000. So there are 4,367 properties for sale for less than 50,000. Now, you see there are a lot of things here. Let's say you wanted to look for a property to rent, you click on for rent. Now, this sold, I will explain why you need to have this information. For those of you who want to buy and resell a property, you want to know, okay, in this area, if I buy this property for 50,000, will I be able to sell it for a profit? Because you might say, oh, let me buy this property, it looks cheap. But then when you check the sold in that area, you find out that all the properties there are only selling for 20,000. So that's why it's important for you to know what are the properties selling for in that area. But we won't do that until we narrow down our list. So this is for sale. Now, under for sale, so let's apply for sale. Then under for sale, okay, so this is Georgia. Now, usually what I do, because Georgia is a big state, you don't want to buy property just anywhere. So let's imagine we go, okay, let's say you want a property that has, you don't want land. So you want a property that has probably at least 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms. Let's go with 2 bedrooms so that if the person has a visitor, the visitor has somewhere to stay. So you say 2 bedrooms and above, and then 1 bathroom and above. So you can apply that. Then you see it has reduced to 229. So that means that other list we saw probably included a lot of land or maybe 1 bedroom flats. So we have a very nice list here, 229,000. Now, sorry, 229 properties. Let's just make sure nobody is sending me a message. Nope. So no chats. I hope the person who couldn't hear me can hear now. I really hope so. So, as I said, if you can't hear, there's a button at the somewhere below your screen where you can click on the microphone. And then you can also click play to start in case, I don't know if you're using a phone. So let's go back to our research. So now you see these beautiful properties, that's good. This is 2 bedroom and above with 1 bathroom. Now, when it comes to the home type, there are houses, there are townhomes, there are multi-family. That means there's more than like 2 families can live in the same. There are condos. Now, condos are very interesting. They are like flats, they're like apartments, but you actually own your apartment. And then you might have to pay home association fees. But it has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage is you don't have to, if it's in a place that has snow, you don't have to do your own snow. You don't have to cut your grass, but you have to pay someone to do it, for the whole apartment complex. But you actually own your own property. Now, the problem is if you are not in it, you still keep on paying home association fees. If you buy it and you walk away, you still have to pay home association fees. So, but condos are very good for someone who doesn't really want to stay around or who doesn't want to have the problem of cutting grass, cleaning, emptying trash, all those things. Now, if you want to buy lots and land, you want to buy apartments, if you want to buy a manufactured home. Each one has its own pros and cons. But these are all the types. Now, let us, for today's webinar, I don't know if I should remove any, but let's leave them all. Okay. And later, as I said, if you're an attendee and you have a particular place you want me to research, I've already said, let us know the state, the city or county. Let us know how much you want to spend and what you want to do with it, so that we can actually research for somebody who is actually here. But let's continue with Georgia. So let's look at this first house here. Now, you'll notice that when I put my cursor, this hand, over it, you can see what part of Georgia this is. So this 28,500, you can see that green thing here showing you that this is it. So and this is Atlanta. So it's a little bit far from Atlanta. So you're going into the rural area of Georgia. So you have to have that in mind. But let's see what this person has to offer. So let's click on it. So this is a 3-bedroom house. It looks nice. Now, the way I'm looking at it, this is a manufactured home. So let's look at the pictures. Okay, it's nice. If all you want is just a place to sleep, it's good. So let's read about it and see what they have to say. So these charming 3-bedroom, 2-bath home features open concept plan, modern appliances, colors for a viewing. Okay. So it looks okay, but it is a manufactured home, and I'll show you how I know that. You see the bottom here is not really a real foundation. So what you're going to do is you have a lot of questions to ask. When you're buying this property, are you buying it with the land? Even though it says there's no HOA fee, when you contact the listing agent, you're going to find out, am I just buying this property on top, or does it include the land? Very, very important. Anytime you see a property that has this kind of foundation, and let me make this bigger. See this foundation? It's most likely a manufactured home that was just driven onto this lot. So you have to find out, are they selling just the property on top, or does it include the land? Very, very important. So it doesn't show, okay, yeah. So it says here manufactured home, but also you can find out if the land is also for sale. Now, if the land is not for sale, that means you're going to be paying rent for this land. So the property is yours, the property on top is yours, but the land is not. So they might be requesting a nominal fee for the land, but they have not told us what the fee is. Now, the next thing, just to make sure, I will say it in every time I check a property, but when you're interested in a property, don't click on contact agent here. Because when you do that, Zillow will just send you to an agent who is registered with Zillow. What I always do is I actually contact the person who actually listed it. You see, listed by Alora Davis. This is her phone number. That is the person to contact. Anytime you want to buy a property, contact the person who listed it, because that person knows the person who actually is selling the land or the property. That person, you can negotiate with that person. For example, those of you who are going to be paying out of pocket, you can negotiate when you actually talk to the listing agent. But if you contact this person will now contact this person, and then both of them will have to share the commission. But when you are talking to the person who actually listed it, that person doesn't have to share commission with anyone and is more motivated to work with you. So that is it. Now, the next thing about this property, let's say you want to see what does this area look like, because the person has shown us nice pictures. What does the area look like? That's where you click on the street view. So let's look at the street view and see what this area is like. So this is what the area is like. So you see what I'm clicking on, this looks like a dial. That's what I'm using to go round about the area. So it looks like a nice area. It's clean. If you are working from home, it doesn't really matter how far you are from the city. So this is the area for the street view, which is okay. So let's X out. Now, and this is like a map. Let's see. It doesn't look like there's some water in this area, but it's not too close to this is your own property. So you might not have problem of flooding, but that's good. Okay. And this is generally about that property. And as I told you, yes, so see now it says the land is leased. And so you have to pay $500 for the lease of the land. Now, they are not saying whether it's $500 a month or per year. So these are the questions you have to ask. How much is it going to cost you to lease the land? There's a lot of, you have the dishwasher, everything is in it, that's yours, but the land is not yours. So it was built in 2015, so it's quite new. It's good. It's good. If you don't mind living there. So they have no HOA fees. So that means the only fees you have to pay is for the land, which is okay. And okay, so let's continue. So this was a manufactured home. Okay, let's look for another one. Let's look for one close to Atlanta. Now, what I want to do now, and remember, our list is between $5,000 and $50,000. You can always increase it. If you can afford 100,000, you can. If what I'm going to do now, I'm going to check for houses close to Atlanta. If we don't have enough, then we can increase the price. So let's do that. First, we are going to remove the boundary. You can see the boundary here. Remove the boundary. And let me make sure nobody's saying anything. Okay, you have some comments here. So I told you, if you can't hear, there's a microphone. Okay, you won't hear me that I'm even explaining. Okay, so let's. Okay, so somebody figured it out. I think the problem was because I was sharing my screen, you were looking at my own microphone instead of yours. Okay, let me call someone. Okay, I have to continue. So I'm going to be sharing my screen again so that we can, maybe we'll do a replay when I teach about teaching. But what you should be doing is clicking on the microphone at the bottom of your screen, bottom left, somewhere. Close the microphone. Well, no, not, it shows volume. Okay, let me correct that. Okay, I have to continue. Okay, I have to continue. Okay, so you can hear music. That means it's working. So let's get back to business. Yeah, because we have a lot to cover. So I'm sorry. I was supposed to tell you to click on the volume, not on the microphone. The microphone you were clicking was my microphone because I was showing you my screen. So let me go back because I want to share my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm sorry about that. So back to business. Share my screen. Okay, so back to sharing my whole screen. Now, where were we? Okay, so we were in Georgia. So I'm so sorry. Now we picked Georgia, and as I said, if any of you has a particular state, city that you want us to research, you tell me later. Just give me how much you want to spend and what you want to use it for. So we already did the research on this first house. So let's look for one. Now we want to look for one that is close to Atlanta. But we don't want to just put Atlanta because it will only bring out Atlanta properties. So what we are going to do next is to remove this boundary. So you see it up here, remove boundary. So I hope I'm still recording. Okay, so I'm still recording. Okay, so we remove the boundary. So what you're going to do now is you're going to draw. So this is Atlanta here. So you want to draw around this area so that you can find houses that are not too far from Atlanta. Let's say it was Augusta you had in mind. You will draw around Augusta. But I know many of you have heard of Atlanta. That's why I'm choosing Atlanta. Now there's Columbus. I won't go as far as Columbus, but a lot of people live in Columbus. You can go around Columbus. Well, let's do for the purpose of demonstration. And then since you couldn't hear me before now, what we did was we clicked on for sale. We put the between 5 and 50K, so you can increase it. And then we did 2 bedrooms, 1 bath and above. And then we didn't choose any home type. We want everything to come up. And I'll show you how to use this one later. So let's now, so I clicked on remove boundary and then you click on draw. When you click on draw, you will now have the opportunity, let's cancel that. You have the opportunity to draw a line around the place you want. So this is Atlanta. So let's draw around Atlanta. So let's go like this, and like this, and like this, and apply. So you want it to only show you houses that are in this circle that you drew. So yeah, so let's see, this is a nice condo here. So let's see. So this is a condo for sale. Like I told you before, a condo, you probably need to pay some fees because they're going to be cleaning the area for you, probably cutting your grass, things like that. So let's click on this condo that is 45,000. And okay, since a lot of you couldn't hear me before, this is the agenda. We've introduced the sponsors. We've talked to you about why you need to do property research. And then you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to live in it? Do you want to hold on to it? Do you want to rent it? Do you want to just buy and resell it quickly? Or do you want to buy a rundown property, repair it, and then sell it? I also talked about the responsibilities. You have to pay taxes. And it doesn't matter if you don't give them the correct address. It's not their fault. They can sell your house if you don't pay your taxes. I've seen it happen. Then there's the yard and property maintenance. As I said before, I've received a letter before where they told me I'll pay $1,000 every day that I don't cut the grass and that I could go to jail. So that's how serious they take property maintenance. And then HOA fees. So these things, people can lose their houses just for these things. So you have responsibilities after you buy a property. Then we talked about funding. You can get it from your savings, your family and friends. You can all come together and buy a property, and then you can get a mortgage. And then we are now on research. We are doing the Zillow research. So let's go back. Okay, so this is a condo. It's for sale. So let's click on it and see what they have. And it's in Atlanta. So looks nice, looks very nice. So let's click on it. So this is the outside, this is the inside. It looks nice, it looks nice, it looks nice. So it's something you can buy. Now, as I told you, when you have a condo, there will be some responsibilities. So let's see what they say about this property. So it was built in 1972. It's not too old. You pay homeowners association of $47 a month. And the Zillow thinks it's worth 200,500. I'm not sure about that. Why do they think it's worth that much? And it's selling for that price. But we'll look at it. It's a condo. So they say, don't walk, run. These prices in Woodward Park townhouses won't last long. This 2-bedroom, 1-bath co-op is conveniently located in the city of Atlanta, near new and upcoming businesses. This community is for owner-occupants only. Okay. Very interesting. So that means you cannot rent it out. So you cannot buy it and say, oh, I want to make it a rental. So it's only for those who want to live there. And then cash only. They will not allow you to get a mortgage on it. You have to pay the whole price. And then no investors. So they don't want it for those who want to use it for business. But if you want to have somewhere where you can stay every time you come to Georgia, it's good. Or if you're a person who's just starting your family, it looks good. But we'll look at the area, because it's one thing to get a cheap property. You have to also look at the area. So we're going to do that. So monthly carrying costs include water, gas, maintaining major systems, exterior grounds, playground, and property taxes. This home is like a plug and play. Get your lights, cable, internet, and let Woodward Park take care of the rest. So this looks very nice. Very, very nice. However, that is just looking at it from the beginning. So let's see. We have some water here. So let's hope this place doesn't flood. So it looks okay. We'll look at it. So it has 2 bedrooms and 1 bath. Okay, for a young family. So let's show more. So the heating is gas. Laundry features in the hall. Now, I don't know what that means. Is the laundry in that person's house, or do they share laundry? We'll find out. Okay. So let's see. Parking. Yeah, and this is everything. Everything looks nice. It's a condo, very simple. Okay. Construction material. It has utilities, community features. They have a clubhouse. Yeah, so this is nice, but you can't rent it out. And then in the whole year, all you have to pay for homeowners association fees is $564, which is good. And they're going to be maintaining the ground. You don't have to cut your grass. You don't have to do anything. So that's good. Okay, so everything looks very good for this property. Zillow thinks it's worth this. I'm not sure why. Now, Zillow gives a rent estimate, but you can't rent it because they already said very clearly that you can't rent it out. Now, so what I usually do, I look at the price history. So they've been trying to sell this house since 2020. They listed it for $59,000. Somebody was about to buy it, and then the person didn't buy it. And then they put it back on the market for $59,000 again, another $59,000 in 2020. But finally, December, just yesterday, they put it out again for $45,000. So you have to find out what is it about this property, because it looks very good. But let's look at the pictures again. Okay, so everything looks, and this is the street. Everything looks clean. So now let's do some research on the neighborhood. Very, very important. So this is a neighborhood. So this is the neighborhood. Now, this is the satellite from this top. It looks good. Now we'll check the school district. Okay, so now this is the problem. If you have little children, you might not want to buy a house where their school district scores are this low. So you see that their high school is 2/10, elementary school 2/10, middle school 4/10. So it's not, their schools are not that good. However, if you're going to be sending your child to a private school, or if you're already if your children are already grown up and they don't need to go to a good school, then it's no problem. But if you have children that are young and you want them to go to public school, because you have to go to public school in the place where you're living. You cannot be living somewhere and send your child to a different public school. So this might be a deal breaker for those who have young children. However, if you are just starting, you can, live here. Now, the problem is if you are young, let's say you just got married and you come here and buy this house. By the time you now start having children and you want to send them to school, the problem you have to think of, because you always have to have an exit strategy. Will I be able to sell this house when I'm ready to leave? Because think of the restrictions. You cannot use it as a rental. So those are the kind of things you consider. So that's that. So, and these are nearby homes. So nearby homes are a little bit expensive too. So, but there's one here cheaper. Okay, this one sold for 40,000, and we are trying to buy this one for, was it 45? Okay, so this was 45,000. Somebody just sold one for 40,000. So that's less than we are buying. So you have to be careful. Will I be able to sell? However, somebody sold theirs for 52. Let's see, the one who sold his for 40,000. What was the problem with it? Why was it 40,000? So this was sold in September for 40,000. So we don't know much about it, but he sold it for 40,000. Okay. So those are the things you have to consider, because you don't want to buy a house and then find out that it's not worth what you bought it for. So that's for this one. Let's look at another house now this one is in Lawrenceville. This price is almost impossible, 25K, but let's check and see what the problem is, because Lawrenceville is a nice area. This is one in Decatur. This is also nice. This one is auction, so that means you have to bid on it and you have to have the cash. But Decatur, I believe Decatur is okay, but Lawrenceville, okay, it's an auction. No wonder, 25K. So when they put this 25K, that's where they're starting the auction bid. Yeah, I knew it's almost impossible to get a house for 25,000. So let us not waste our time on auctions, because we probably are not going to be there to bid. So let's not waste time on that. So let's look for another realistic place. Okay, all these ones are auctions. We don't want auctions. Okay, so let's go a little bit higher. Let's go to 100,000 so that we can get a better. Now, this one was good too. I looked at this but this is a manufactured home. So the house does not include the land. So this is a 3-bedroom house, but it's a mobile home. So that means, but what you could do is ask them if they are okay with you renting it out, so that when you are not around, you can rent it out. But you always have to ask. And as I said, these are the information, $67 a month for the homeowners association. And so that one, this one seems good. Okay, let me get back to see if anybody is asking any questions. So this is a house for 50,000, and you have all the amenities to use, like for the area. But remember, anytime you buy a manufactured home in this kind of community, the land is not yours. So you have to remember that. So let's see, any questions, any chats? So let's go to the chat. Okay. So we should go through the chat. Okay, because many people, do we use to run a search to know available? What tool do we? Okay. So the tool we use, and that's what we are using now, Zillow. ZILLOW.com. ZI, or for here we say Z. ZILLOW. So let's go through the introduction again. Some people are asking for the introduction again. Okay. So here's the agenda. So the introduction, of course, I told you about the sponsors, but I don't want us to waste time on that. And then why do we need to do property research before contacting a real estate agent? And then the reasons why you want to have it. Now let's continue our research. Now, if any of you have anywhere in mind, as I told you, we can do the research of a particular area, but let's go back. So I'm going to change it to 100,000 so that we can see more houses. So this is another condo for sale. And just like we did the other research, you can do the same research. So we will leave out auctions, because unless you are actually going to be there to bid, there's no need to waste time on auctions. So here is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath in Atlanta. 5 bedrooms. Let's see what this is about. Okay. So it's a condo. So that means you have HOA fees, $261 per month. So this person has 5 bedrooms. So it would be good if they allow it as a rental. So let's see. Although another thing is, when you want a rental, you don't want there to be too many rooms, because that means you have a lot of responsibility, and depending on how your tenants are, you might want to be careful. So let's see. Located in the heart of the city of South Fulton, minutes from the airport, oversized condo units, total of 5 bedrooms. Water heater is 1 year old. And some of the rentals in this building are $1,500 a month. Okay, so it's close to the airport. That's good. What else? Now, the next thing I want us to check is, let's say you want to see this area. Let me drive through it. I can't come to Atlanta, but I want to see, or even if you are living in the Atlanta area, but you don't want to be driving around the whole place. You want to drive on it on the internet before you actually go to the place physically. So that's what we're going to do now. So let's copy this address. I've done this before, so I know we can't get to the actual street, but I'll tell you what to do. So this is this property for 90,000. And you want to see, oh, what does this property look like? What does the area look like? Now you can either do it straight from here and look for the street view here. So you can just click here and okay, now let's do it a different way. So let's go to Google. Oops, Google. Okay, now let me use my Google. So if you have Google Chrome, I like to use Google Chrome instead of, and then just paste that address. And then, okay. Now, if you click on it, click on this map here. So you will notice that Google doesn't, it's not showing you the street. That means that their Google car, the vehicle, has not driven to this street. However, if you click on this tiny man down here, you will see that the Google vehicle has driven around all this area. So even though this is the property I want to look at, the Google vehicle has never driven into this actual place. So the closest place that I can see that either I can click on this place, so I can have an idea what it looks like here, or I can click on this junction. So if I click on this junction where it has some blue, and so this is the main road near the area, and then I can now look around. Now I'm looking, you see where my hand is here. I'm clicking on this thing, and that is what I'm using to look around the streets. Now, from what we can see, the Google car didn't drive into their estate. So they have an estate, and that is why we cannot see the actual front of the house. However, we can look at it from the sky. So let's go back. So since Google did not drive to the actual house, we can click on this thing where it says satellite. And this is the actual place where the house is. So we can look at the pictures from the sky so that we can have an idea what this area is like. And it seems okay. It's like an estate. So if you are interested in living in a place that's like an estate, so that's how you can do your research using Google. So let's come back here. So this was back to the search. Let's check our agenda, make sure we're on track. So we have, and okay, sponsors. Sponsor is Toluwani Investments. We have products on walmart.com. Let me show you the product we have on Walmart. Sorry. So I'm back. So we have so this is one of the products of Toluwani Investments Herbal Diet Formula. You can get it on Walmart.com. We also have a YouTube channel, Toluwani Investments, Business and Inspirations. You can follow us there. You see our other products. So we do a lot of things. So back to work. So let's go to so taxes. I've told you what is what your responsibilities are. I've told you how to get funding, and we are now researching. Now, let's see. Does any of you have a particular place in mind before we continue? Let's check. Okay, so nobody put any particular place, so that's okay. So we'll continue. Let's see. So anytime I check for properties, I also make sure to look at realtor.com for the same property, just to make sure that it's still current, because sometimes you see a property on Zillow and then maybe they don't take it off for like a day or two. So that's it. Now, so it looks like so far we've covered most of what I'm supposed to show you. I know there's still some more things. I just hope I've not forgotten anything. So this is a house for sale for 25,000. So it looks okay from the inside. And as I told you, never click on contact agents. You should go straight and find out who actually listed it. And that's here you'll find listing provided by Vickiana Ramirez. So this is the person. Now, unfortunately, this person didn't put her phone number. Most of them put their phone number, but it's always good to go to the actual listing agents. So what you can do is just Google Atlanta Communities via Vickiana Ramirez and contact her directly. So this house, let's check out the information on it. So this is a mobile home, so that's why it's cheap. But there's nothing wrong with living in a mobile home if they allow you to rent it out. When you are not there, you can rent it out. So those are the questions you have to ask. So they have an HOA. Yes, you have to pay some money for the general keep. So, so that I don't take up too much of your time, what I would like you to do is tell me the things that you wanted me to discuss so that I can go over them again. If you have questions, if you do it on your own and you have questions, just send me the questions and we'll try to make another presentation for that. So thank you so much for your time. Is there nobody has said anything, no chats. So that means there are no questions and there's no particular area that you want me to do a research on. So thank you so much. The time is 11:10. In the afternoon, and that's the evening in some countries, we're going to be, that one is a much shorter presentation. It's just going to take like 15 to 30 minutes. We're going to show you how to set up your medication profile. You need a medication profile if you are taking any kind of medication. So you set up the profile, you put your um, health conditions. If you have any allergies, then you also put the drugs you're already taking. It will check for any interaction. And then anytime you want to start using any new medication, you will just add it to the profile, and that will check if it's okay with the things you're already taking and if it's okay with your health conditions. So thank you so much, and God bless you. Bye.